Welcome back to Welsh Miniature Ball Gamer, and this is one of my unboxing and reviewing videos. So this week we have a Wargames Atlantic Pulp Adventures, which is kind of their subgenre, Operators. So this is a box of 20 multi-part hard plastic 28mm figures, as most boxes are. So you can get it for around £32 recommended retail price, but you can get it considerably cheaper if you shop around. As I did, I got it from Firestorm Games. So the art is kind of, utilitarian. It's nothing particularly special, but it does show you what you get in the box, etc. There's 27 unique sculpted heads, which is kind of cool. That's an awful lot, which gives you a total of 108 heads in the box. Like, that is amazing. That is loads of heads. So you have knives, pistols, ARs, M16s, AKs, H&K assault rifles, snipers rifles, light machine guns, rocket launchers, etc. Everything that you're going to want to arm your team up with. So the heads. We have these ones with the jungle hats on. I've got them upside down here, but you can kind of see. And then we got these sort of military helmet, bulletproof helmets. Some of them with the clip for the night visor, and some of them without. We have a bunch of off arms, so left arms in this case. Most of them will be cradling the weapons, but there are some for pointing and holding the odd items which you might decide to place in their hands. So this is the SAW. So the squad automatic weapon, I think that's what the SAW stands for. The AR, we've got a Dragunov, I think that's what they call them. I'm not sure what that weapon is, but it's really cool looking. Some sort of AK variant, that's a H&K G something or other, and a SIG. I'm not that well up on my guns. So with the kneeling guy, you will have to glue his one leg on to place him. But you can put the rocket launcher on him, or this pistol or something. We have the bodies here, and a knife, of course, holding it backwards, because that's the cool way. We've got another H&K assault rifle. Two more of the bodies. Now with the bodies, flipping them over, some of them are lightly armoured, and some of them are more heavily armoured with a full body rig, etc. So yeah, you can sort of mix and match between sort of lighter and heavier armoured people. Got a bunch of AK variants, an RPK, I think that one is, and another AR system. So yeah, as you can see, plenty of ARs on here because, I'm guessing they're mostly American or Soviet era. So here are the more of the heads and sort of accessories that you can place upon them. Pistols, pouches, grenades. I do like that they can have some berets and some balaclavas, which is quite unusual. It's quite cool to have some balaclava looking men, although of course it does hide most of their features, and that's kind of the point. So yeah, looking at it, really nice sculpts, really nice detail, really crisp and clear. Yeah, really do think these look good. Really think that at the moment, Wargames Atlantic have really stepped up their miniature making process. So this is one of the soldiers. Now he is armed with that squad assault weapon, the SAW, and turned back helmet. It's not a helmet, it's a cap. So he's much more of an operator looking dude. I do think these probably are aiming more at sort of soldier looking troops as opposed to the URA, which I felt looked much more like a near future PMC, so personal military contractor. But these guys look a little bit more like a modern soldier, I would say, more than those guys did. Much more, I don't know, they look much more like they're in a uniform and much more soldier-like. So this guy I made up with his red beret, his AK, and his detonator in hand. So this is how I was saying you could use some of the, artillery? Yeah, we'll go with that. Items to place in his hand. So this is making it look like he's got his detonator and he's ready to blow everyone up. Now this guy looks rather cool. You know, to everybody to hold back while he uses his disposable rocket launcher. Really nice miniatures, really crisp, really clear. I went for this grey colour because it suits my PMCs that I was making from the Wargames Atlantic Ura box set. So yeah, they go together really well, and you know that's kind of what I was going for. So I'm just making my force bigger. Some of them look a bit more armoured than others, some of them lighter armoured, and some of them more heavily, you know, armed with their weaponry, etc. So that I can use them in multiple different games. So a commander, yeah, I kind of messed the face up a little bit on this guy. He's much more lightly armoured than the previous dudes, just with a breast sort of plate, but nothing much else, and his helmet. He's of course carrying a pistol and pointing, because all commanding officers have to point, you know, at where they want you to go. And that seems to be a thing with miniatures. Is commanding officers have to be pointing where you have to go or telling you to stop where you are. So this guy, yeah, he's much more a dynamic pose. I put that holster on him, and he's carrying that. I think, like I said, I think it's a H&K G something, one of their assault rifles. But yeah, really cool. You know, I like this pose. It's very dynamic. You know, proper breaching sort of rushing in or whatever pose. Which, yeah, makes him look really cool. I like these. And I really do like these miniatures. Like I said, Wargames Atlantic at the moment, especially their pulp range, but all of their ranges are really getting better. But their pulp range I really enjoy. Maybe that's just because the mood I'm in at the moment. I do want sort of near future modern miniatures, etc. So doing a bit of a size comparison with our sort of breaching assault rifle officer. So this is a Wargames Atlantic Civilian, the men's one. So yeah, obviously similar size, you know, because they're the same manufacturer. They look good together, and they don't, you know, the sizes are correct. So a Wargames Atlantic Villager. Again, looking about right, seeing that the breacher is slightly crouched. He might be a slightly bit smaller guy, but you know, a certain amount of variation is quite welcome. So this is a Stargrave miniature, and yeah, he's a bit more proportions, a bit bulkier, but generally speaking, I think if they're on the board, you wouldn't really notice the difference. You know, they're heroic as opposed to realistic, maybe, but still, they're not out of proportion terribly. So this is a Mantic miniature, so this is a GCPS, something like that. As you can see, much bigger, much more bold. I would say much more 32mm range, although I'm not sure what Mantic actually is selling them as, but yeah, I would say it's much more 32mm range. So yeah, my thoughts on these miniatures, really nice miniatures. They'll go well with the Ura range and the Civilians range, and I will have some kit bashing coming up maybe next week. So if you've liked this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all the usual things. It's much appreciated. Goodbye from now, Welsh Miniature Board Gamer.